All right, so now, rather than making you watch while I did every single letter, um, we don't really need to do that. Now we actually have all our letters on separate layers. If you want to, I'm going to go ahead and do this. You can actually, this will help you maybe later on. I'm going to change the letter of the name of each layer to the name of the letter that's on it. So in other words, I'm going to go here. This only has the E on it. This one has the N, so I just double click on the name of the layer. Usually it's just layer and a number, so layer 2, layer 3, whatever. I'm just going to put the letter, so I'm going to replace that with the letter. So N, I, here's the first O. You can name multiple letters the same thing. T, A, and T. Okay, so T. There. So now we have all our letters on individual layers. We have our shadow there in the background. And now we're going to go to each layer one at a time and put a picture on top of it, and then we're going to actually do the clipping mask so that the picture only appears inside the letter. So I went ahead and I had already done my folders. So I'm going to go here to find my folders. I have a folder full of pictures for this project entirely. So I'm going to go here, travel poster, and Tatooine. So notice we haven't done the background yet. We're going to do that last. That makes it a little easier. Now I'm going to just go through and kind of pick individual pictures to put inside the letters. So you can use whatever method you want to kind of figure out which letters go in where, but I'm just going to do mine in order for the sake of this. So right now the layer I have selected here is the first T, so I'm going to click on that and make sure that you click on the layer before, because it makes it a lot easier to figure out which photo is on top of which layer. So, for instance, I have the T here, and what I do now is I bring this picture. If I have my folder open, I can just drag it into here. So now my picture is below all these other letters, but it's on top of the T, way too big. So I'm going to shrink it down so that it's just big enough to cover the T. I can go outside of here and rotate it a little bit so it's oriented kind of the same as my letter. And then, it's covering up the T right now, but remember, we put a clipping mask now, so I look over my layers window here, and I have this layer is my picture. This layer here is my letter underneath, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to hold the Option key down. I'm going to click inside of here, and once I get in between both layers, and you see I have that little symbol that looks like a square with a bent arrow, and if I click on it now, you can see now my picture is only visible inside the letter. I can move it so that I can see more of these guys. So I can put one or the other. So I'm going to put this one here, and that's going to be inside my T. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, this is going to get very cluttered over here. There's going to be a lot of layers with clipping masks on top of them. So what I like to do, and you can do this just to make it kind of a little easier for you to follow, I'm going to do our little trick of clicking on the top layer and then holding Shift and clicking on the bottom layer. And I'm going to group them. And what grouping them does is put them inside of a little folder. And the folder will now keep them together and keep it so that we don't see everything. So I can do that either by going up to the menu and I go to Layer, and you'll see about halfway down it says Group Layers. But if you see, there's a keyboard shortcut for that as well. It's Command and G. So I'm just going to go here. I have both of these two selected. I'm going to click Command G, calls it Group 1, and I'm going to change the name of that so that it's T, so I know it's the first T. And now I can hide that or reveal it, whichever I want to do, okay? So now I'm going to click on the A, go back and find my other picture. Let's see, I'm going to do this. Put this picture in. Okay, so here it is again. It's behind the other letters. It's in front of the A. Now this one's a little smaller, so I need to actually make it a little bigger in order for it to actually appear above the A and not be and have it cover the whole thing. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Option, make a clipping mask, and now that's visible inside. I can move it if I want to see more of it or less of it, and there we go. So now it's there. So now it's that. Now I'm going to take these two layers. Click on the top one, hold Shift and click on the bottom one, Command G, that's a new folder. I'm going to call it the letter A, and there we go. So I'm going to go down the line, and I'm going to do all these one at a time until I'm all done, right? So then I'm going to have multiple folders over here, each one containing the letter, which is on its own layer, plus the picture on it, which is clipped to it with a clipping mask. and then I can make those show up, or I can hide them. You'll see as we get done, it'll be a lot easier once they're all hidden away. So I just moved my way down the line. I'm going to put this picture in here. Now this one here, I put way above the E, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now so that I can just kind of move along. So we're going to put this one here, rotate a little bit so it's oriented similarly to the letter, and I'm going to make another, make another clipping mask. There we go. Do that, Command G, call that E, and so on. So we would do all of our letters, and that's kind of how we do that part. So let me just kind of drag this in here. This is above the N. Okay, it does look, when you're resizing stuff, sometimes Photoshop makes it look very blurry, but when you're done, you can either hit Enter or click Done. It goes back to the original resolution. So I'm in here, I'm going to make a clipping mask rather. Group these together, I'm going to call it N, and so on. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back doing things in the right order. So here's the T. That's that second T. I'm going to drag my picture inside of here. It's on top. Resize it so it fits. Orient it correctly. And then I'm going to, again, clipping mask, select both of them, Command G, relabel it as the letter T, and so on. So I got a few more to do. We're just going to get those done. This is my picture I'm going to use for a background. I'm going to skip over that. This here I'm going to actually do this one over the O here. Shrink it down. Actually, I might have it. I'm going to do this one over 2 letters because this will fit over 2 letters. This is something you can do. I combine it. And then first I have to combine the 2 O's together. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the 2 O's, just like I've been doing. They need to be on the same layer in order for this. I can only clipping mask in a picture to one individual layer, not to 2. So what I have to do is I have to combine these 2 O's together. So here's one O. Sorry. One O and the second O. I'm going to click them together. Now I'm going to go to Layer, and I'm going to merge them. Command E is the shortcut, so I can just go Command E. Now, the 2 O's are on the same layer. If I hide it, I can verify that, right? So now they both get hidden at the same time. So now if I go over here and I do this, now it appears over 2 letters there. And I'm only doing this because I know I only did enough pictures to fit. I didn't do enough pictures for all of the letters. So we're going to do this last one. They're pretty vertical, so I'm going to put them inside of the I. It just seems to make sense. I'm only going to be able to fit one of them, so I have this picture now. I'm going to move it back down so it's right on top of the I. I messed that up. Whoops. So here, I got to be careful. There it is. So it's on top of the I now. Now I hold the Option key down, I click, and there it is inside it. So now I've gotten all my letters done. So, and I'm going to group these. I'm going to group these 2, and I'm going to merge them. I group them, Command G, and I'm going to call this one I. And then I'm going to group these 2, Command G. I'm going to call them OO. There. Now, there's one last thing we're going to do. They kind of tend to get lost a little bit. It's hard to see sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an outline around the letters, which will make an outline around the pictures. The outline will apply only to the letters. It won't apply to the background images. If we want to do an outline around the background, like the 3-dimensional part of the letters, we could do that too. We're going to do that separately. But here's what we're going to do. You're going to select the group that you actually have for that letter. So we're going to do the T first. And we're going to go back down to that same button, the FX, where you add a layer style. We did color overlay earlier. This time we're going to do one called stroke. Stroke will open up. Now, right now the color is yellow, and we'll see I have an outline around the color, around the letter. If I want to change the color, I can change it to whatever I want, and you'll see I get the preview as I change the color. It's going to show me what it would look like. So I like this orange. I think it looks kind of good. I can also, so click OK. I can also set the depth. I can do a big thick outline. I can do a really thin outline. I can go as low as 1 pixel, which is barely visible. I can always also go in here and just highlight the number and use the arrow key. That's going to let me do it one at a time. Now, if I want to repeat this, I don't have to go through and open this box on every single one. Photoshop knows that people don't want to sit here and do all these tedious things, and they just soon as rather not do it than do it the right way. So we're going to click OK, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we don't even have to remember what the settings are because that is located down here now. If you look, all these other letters, the layer is just a little folder. There's nothing attached to it. But the T, where we just added this, now it has this little it's listing down here called effects and then stroke, and they're both visible. I can hide them, and if I hide them, sorry, if I click on that little eye, they go away, right? They're hidden. But I can also right-click over here. If I right-click, I get a whole bunch of choices, and one of them is to copy that layer style. So I can copy it. Now, all of the settings that put an orange outline around the letter T are saved up on the computer, waiting for me to paste them somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the next letter, which is A. I'm going to scroll to the top, which I don't have to because it's all visible, and I'm going to hold Shift, and then I'm going to click on the top one. Now you see they're all selected in there. And now all I have to do is right-click on there, and I can paste layer style. And now there's an orange outline around every single letter. And that's the next step, and we're going to stop there for now. So save it. Save it to the cloud. Click Save. And now I have the most up-to-date version of my document signed up. And we'll move on to the last step, which is adding the last few elements, which is the background. And maybe if we wanted to, I can show you how to add some highlights and some shadows to this back portion of the letter, the part where it's actually the three-dimensional piece. So that's it for now, and we'll move on to the next thing in another video.